Hello everyone, Joel here. If you're anything like me, your favorite pastime is spending 45 minutes sweating over a single grid movement. Well, dust off your hexagonal thinking caps because 2026 offers some of the best hyper-nutrition for our collective brains. We are swimming in an absolute sea of incredible new tactical and strategy RPGs that you can boot up and sink 100 hours into literally right now. First out of the gate, we have Urban Strife. Now, if you looked at the post-apocalypse genre and thought, man, I really wish Jagged Alliance had a passionate love child with Project Zomboid, Whitepun Games heard your incredibly specific prayer. This gem officially hit its 1.0 release this July after marinating beautifully in early access. You're managing a shelter, dealing with factions, and trying not to get eaten by the Atlanta Horde. The grid-based shooting mechanics are incredibly crisp, though the inventory management can occasionally feel like you're trying to pack a bloated suitcase for a flight. But honestly, building up your base while outsmarting the local undead makes every inventory headache totally worth it. Moving from the muddy apocalypse straight into the far reaches of space, let's talk about Stellar Tactics. This is essentially an entire universe packed into a single install file. You get turn-based squad combat, deep sci-fi RPG progression, and space exploration that lets you live out your ultimate rogue captain fantasies. It's got that beautifully nostalgic, crunchy PC gaming vibe where every layer of customization has its own sub-menu. Sure, learning the ropes can feel a bit like reading a rocket engine manual, but the payoff of building the ultimate elite strike team is unmatched. If you want a space sandbox that treats your brain with respect, this is your ticket. Alright, now for something completely different and wildly charming, Dead Weight. Picture a steampunk tactical RPG, but it's played out on tiny, beautifully animated floating islands. Oh, and your main base of operations? A massive, ancient flying tree. You are flying around, managing a crew, and fighting godlike ancient entities on bite-sized tactical grids where every single step matters. It's got this brilliantly fast pace that completely throws out the traditional tactical sluggishness. The difficulty curve can occasionally spike like an angry heartbeat monitor if you aren't careful with your positioning, but the sheer creativity and gorgeous pixel art make it a must-play. Next up, we're throwing some dice with Dobbel Dungeon. This game completely embraces the beautiful chaos of RNG by fusing dungeon crawling with tactical dice placement mechanics. It turns out that fighting monsters is way more stressful when your ability to swing a sword depends entirely on rolling a lucky 6. But don't worry, it's not just mindless luck. It's all about risk mitigation and manipulating the board to turn bad rolls into massive tactical wins. The visual style is minimalist but incredibly striking. While long sessions might leave you screaming at your digital dice, the just one more run loop is terrifyingly addictive. If you've ever sat awake at night wondering what would happen if classic high fantasy locked eyes with hard sci-fi across a crowded room, Heroes of Science and Fiction is your answer. You're navigating complex hex maps, managing resources, and deploying armies that feature literal laser-blasting cyborgs fighting right alongside mythical creatures. The mechanical depth here is staggering, blending grand strategy empire building with tight tactical skirmishes. The user interface can feel a bit overwhelming at first glance, looking more like a spaceship dashboard than a video game, but once it clicks, the tactical synergy options are absolutely mind-blowing. Before we continue the video, I want to inform you that right now, there are tons of crazy deals in instant gaming, especially if you love RPG games. Remember how expensive modern gaming lately? Well, not anymore, since you can get so many amazing titles with crazy discounts in instant gaming. Can you believe that just with $10 or even less than $5, you can enjoy one of the best gaming experiences in your life? Just look at these titles. It used to cost like $30 or even more than $40. And to make things even crazier, some games even drop so far to just $1. If you're a smart guy, you know what you have to do. All you have to do is just click my link in the description below, start searching for your favorite games, and use the activation code on your chosen platform. By using my link, you're not only saving tons of money, but also helping me to support this channel. Alright then, let's get back into the list.
Starting to get the hang of it.
Now let's check out Dead Grid, which brings a wonderfully gritty card-based tactical twist to the zombie apocalypse. Instead of moving physical minis across a map, you are managing a squad of mercenaries using highly customizable decks of weapons, gear, and tactical maneuvers. It's got an incredibly heavy retro 90s aesthetic that feels like an old-school comic book come to life. The audio design alone deserves a medal for making every shotgun blast feel immensely heavy. It's definitely a brutal ride, and a bad draw can ruin your afternoon, but building the perfect zombie shredding deck feels incredibly satisfying.
Ooh, that was like a of this.
Next, we are stepping into the diesel punk wastes with Aether Iron. This game swaps out your traditional squad of squishy human soldiers for massive, customizable armored vehicles and rumbling war machines. You're navigating a grim industrial world where turn-based positioning means calculating firing arcs, managing heat levels, and crushing cover under your treads. It feels delightfully tactile and heavy, like you can actually smell the diesel fumes through your monitor. The movement can feel a bit rigid when you're trying to maneuver through tight city streets, but nothing beats the joy of leveling an entire building to expose an enemy sniper. For the hardcore survivalists in the crowd, we have Vultures, Scavengers of Death. This is a dark, unapologetically brutal tactical RPG where you control a desperate crew of scavengers trying to survive in a corporate-run wasteland. Every single bullet you fire feels like it's being deducted directly from your bank account, forcing you to think 3 steps ahead before every encounter. It values stealth, planning, and ambush tactics over mindless aggressive gunplay. It's definitely the kind of game that will kick you while you're down, but scraping by a tough mission by the absolute skin of your teeth is pure dopamine. Alright, let's pivot over to Draw Steel. This game brings a massive breath of fresh air by delivering an incredibly vibrant, stylized tactical experience centered around high-stakes arena combat and intricate unit synergy. The battlefield environments are highly interactive, meaning you can smash your enemies into hazards or break the terrain right out from under them. The flow of combat feels less like a slow chess match and more like a beautifully choreographed action movie. The enemy AI can occasionally pull off some suspiciously perfect moves that will make you squint at your screen, but the fast-paced, fluid combat keeps you hooked. Next on the docket is Deified, a tactical RPG that leans heavily into mythic lore and godlike powers. You aren't just commanding ordinary foot soldiers here, you are directing powerful avatars and mythical entities capable of shaping the very battlefield with divine magic. The environmental interaction is next level, letting you flood plains or call down lightning storms to completely change the tide of battle. It's visually spectacular and mechanically grand. The pacing can slow down to a crawl during massive late-game battles when everyone is casting massive spells, but the sheer scale of the conflict makes up for it. Now this one is an upcoming game, but you definitely need to be ready because it's coming out soon. If you enjoy the old Langrisser games like me, this game will be your new obsession. We just got a massive first look at actual gameplay in the second trailer for Langrisser Sea of Sword, and it completely elevates the fantasy tactical RPG experience. Developed by Blackjack Studio with a breathtaking new score by world-renowned composer Yasunori Nishiki, this is a brand new independent saga that pushes the series' handcrafted aesthetic to its absolute finest. You step into the role of the Nameless One, an amnesiac searching for lost memories alongside a mysterious white-haired girl. Caught in a ruthless world of empire politics and fateful choices, every move you make will shape the course of destiny. Breaking away from linear stage progression, the game evolves into a deep exploration experience across lively cities, wilderness, and even ships. On the battlefield, destructible terrain and elevation clashes create endless tactical possibilities. We also see the game-changing dual general system, allowing you to deploy and flexibly switch to commanders within a single unit. While classic flyers, infantry, and cavalry return with intense visual spectacle, I'm also hyped with the returning legends like Elwyn, Sherry, and Leon reimagined alongside an incredible cast of new characters. Langrisser Sea of Sword is open for global pre-registration right now. Check the links below to pre-register on PC and mobile and add it to your Steam wishlist today. Stepping into a wonderfully whimsical yet deeply tactical realm, we have Stardust Wish of Witch. Don't let the gorgeous, vibrant art style fool you. This game packs a serious tactical punch. You're managing a coven of witches, combining elemental magic and manipulating cosmic star grids to unleash massive chain reactions on your enemies. The synergy mechanics are incredibly deep, allowing for some wildly creative combat builds. It can take a bit of mental gymnastics to predict how spells will bounce across the grid, but pulling off a perfect screen-clearing magical combo feels like pure wizardry. Edmund Macmillan's legendary cat-breeding tactical roguelike finally dropped in February after being in development for what felt like an eternity, and it is every bit as chaotic and brilliant as we hoped. You are breeding mutated cats, managing their bizarre genetic traits, and sending them into brutal grid-based tactical combat. It's got that signature dark humor, infinite replayability, and a soundtrack that will get stuck in your head for weeks. It's completely unhinged, occasionally gross, and the RNG can absolutely wreck your favorite feline lineage, but it is undeniably an absolute masterpiece of tactical design. The next absolute titan, we got Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era. Published by the Strategy Saints over at Hooded Horse, this game dropped into early access this past April and immediately proved that the classic formula is timeless. It serves as a brilliant prequel that captures the magical, nostalgic vibe of Heroes 3 while completely modernizing the combat, UI, and faction mechanics. The map exploration is pure addiction, and the turn-based tactical battles are deeply strategic. It's still getting frequent developer updates to polish up the balance, but it's already an absolute triumph. And finally, standing tall at the absolute top of the tactical mountain, we have MENACE. Developed by the absolute madmen behind Battle Brothers, this sci-fi tactical RPG is an absolute tour de force. You are leading a strike force of marines and mercenaries into a lawless, procedurally generated frontier system beset by alien threats and corporate warfare. The combat is incredibly detailed, featuring everything from suppressive fire and vehicle deployment to realistic panic mechanics. It is unforgiving, deeply immersive, and easily the most thrilling tactical experience of 2026.
Keep pouring it on! Yeah? Deflected.